Hey, it's Lucy. I've been doing a PhD for 3 years now, and I've not got much to show for it. I've got dozens of Excel spreadsheets for all the experiments I've done. I've got dozens of folders and subfolders for every form and application and grant I've ever had to send. But regarding actual publishable research, I mean, I've got a paper manuscript waiting for my supervisor's approval, and I'm pretty sure I've done enough at this stage to say I'm probably going to get a PhD, whether or not it's as good as I wanted it to be, but there's still absolutely nothing to show for it. 3 years of long hours of scratching my head at stuff I don't understand, of pushing myself to become better at something than I was when I started. Never mind what I've been doing. 3 years of doing anything with nothing to show for it, and you'd be superhuman if you weren't flagging in motivation. My motivation originally came from a genuine passion for my subject. I was super excited at the thought of getting to study Mars for a living. I thought I wanted an academic career. I was excited at the thought of living in a new city, and all of these can be thought of as bright and juicy carrots to tempt me through my PhD. 3 years later, and I am still interested in my research, and I'm still really glad I started this. I still acknowledge how lucky I am to do this. I still want a PhD. But imagine if you'd been building a house for 3 years and you didn't even have the walls up yet. I don't think humans are built to work this long without some kind of reward. And this deep in, I'll readily admit, I'm finding it tough. I don't think it's forever. I know from past experience that these things wax and they wane. Nothing is ever just on the uphill or just on the downhill. So I need to power through until my motivation hopefully returns. So how can I do that? As is usually the case with these videos, I do not know the answers and I'm trying to figure them out, but here is what I'm trying right now. Something I found in the past to really help with motivation is to explain your research to a non-expert. So stuff that is ordinary and everyday for you might be extraordinary to somebody who's never heard it before. This can be anything from going to a local school to give a talk, or going to a friend's dinner party and really chatting with the stranger next to you, and you'd be surprised by how interested people will be and how you might feel yourself going, oh yeah, it is quite cool. The opposite really helps me too. Talking not to non-experts, but to fellow academics in my field. Getting to debate the tiniest of nuances that nobody else would care about. Getting to talk about my research and know that they will understand the significance of it. Or getting to see what the bigger picture of my research is by asking them what they're working on. For me, this happens at specialist conferences or chatting to visiting seminar speakers, but I am the odd one out in my research group in that I research a completely different planet. So perhaps for you, just talking to other people in your lab group might really help. What about just getting up in the morning though? Every day can't be a dinner party or a conference, so how do you keep yourself motivated when you're midway through sampling the 18th experiment and it's a sunless Wednesday morning? And you know that once you've done that, you are just going to go back to your office and describe graph after graph after graph all day in a section that's probably just going to make the appendix of your thesis. And then the day after that, you're going to do the same thing again. Was that too bitter? To be honest, what keeps me going of a day, even when I'm sampling the 18th experiment, even when I'm describing the 37th graph, isn't fun or uplifting or probably what you want to hear. It's just that it has to be done. No use complaining, no use finding ways around it. It's just got to be done. I have to sample these experiments. Otherwise, the past 80 days of doing the same thing for this set will have been for nothing. I have to describe these graphs because if I don't, then all of that hard work getting this data, which I'm still doing now, will have been for nothing. Above all, I have to do this, because if I don't, then I won't have a thesis, and then I won't have a PhD, and then the last 3 years spent working long hours and scratching my head at stuff I don't understand and pushing myself to become better at this subject than I was when I first started, that'll have all been for nothing. But I do get encouragement from knowing, at the end of the day, I don't have to do this. No one's going to die if I don't. My life won't be over. So I must still care, because I do have a choice. I do still have a semblance of motivation. It's not a carrot anymore. It's more of a stick to beat me with. But that's still something. Whatever it is, it's strong enough to keep me writing, and it's strong enough to keep me sampling. And it's not fun, but we all knew this wouldn't be when we signed up. And really, if this was fun, if this was easy, then everyone would be doing it. If a PhD still means anything, it's got to be bloody hard. And please do follow for more likewise uplifting and motivating advice for how to get through your PhD. My name is Lucy Kissick. I'm a third-year PhD student at the University of Oxford, and I promise I'm not usually this savage. Thanks for watching. Take care.